Hi guys, Mr. Talbot here for you. This is going to be a really good video for people that are going to be absent on September 28th or September 20th. If you're going to be in class, you don't need to watch this video, but this is going to hopefully kind of keep you caught up as we work through checkpoint 2 in class for our new project, which is Ideas That Change the World. So of course, the first thing you're going to need to do is get to that project. So we're in Summit, of course. And we're no longer in the beliefs project. You see in that red circle, we're now clicking over into the ideas project, the ideas that change the world. Once you're in there, you're going to open up the second checkpoint, as you can see circled in yellow here, which is the Guide to Practice John Locke and Revolution. And you're going to go ahead and open that up. Just so you kind of know where we're going. So checkpoint 2 is very, very similar to checkpoint 3. In fact, it's really the same process. You're going to be able to reuse some stuff you do on checkpoint 2 when you get to checkpoint 3. But what both of those assignments are building towards is one of our final products, which is an argumentative claim paragraph. In that, you're going to write a couple paragraphs on explaining how we go from Enlightenment ideas to revolutions and kind of setting up new governments that look at protecting some of the ideas of the Enlightenment. And we're going to kind of walk through that process today with particularly John Locke, perhaps most famous Enlightenment thinker. When you get to the final product, what you're going to be scored on, one of the big skills and a new one for us, is synthesizing multiple sources. So the first thing I hope you pick up on there is that you're going to need multiple sources, and we're going to provide that throughout. What synthesizing means is you're kind of putting it together to explain something more in detail. It's not just kind of randomly throwing information out there. Instead, you're going to be wanting to support an argument with it, and just as we would talk about, you can trust a source more if if it's showing up in more than one spot. If you're able to pull information from more than one place to support your argument, that's a lot stronger argument, and that's what we're going to want to be improving upon. So as you see, our goal is to get you to at least a 4 here, and that's going to be kind of what this assignment would get you to. Getting over to the 5 and 6, that's where we're doing good, and checkpoint 3 is going to be really beneficial for that. So you of course want to have information from more than one source. If you only use stuff from one source, you can't synthesize. You want to compare the information across and explain how they go together. That's that connections piece on the 4. I think this will make more sense when you see the assignment. As we get further along, you're going to compare the type of sources. Is it a secondary source, which you'll see sometimes? Is it a primary source, which you're definitely going to see, which is actually written by these Enlightenment thinkers? The stronger we get as we go across, we're now grouping similar information. That's where you're going to be pulling stuff from different Enlightenment thinkers. That's why you can't get to a 5 with just checkpoint 2 stuff. That's why we're going to do checkpoint 2 and checkpoint 3. But this is kind of what we're building towards. And if you're getting all the way over to 6, you're probably pulling extra information beyond just what we're providing you through the checkpoints. So as you kind of have gotten into your checkpoint 1, it should look something like this. I want to point out that you should have Enlightenment ideas in the first box. I'm going to shoot for 3 in this box. And then in the next 2, I want 2 different quotes. Of course, make sure they're in quotation marks, but 2 different ones. Have at least one of them be about natural rights in both of these. And then you're going to want to be able to explain the connection. The idea here is that by pulling stuff about natural rights from each of them, you're going to be able to pull one connection. My challenge for you is that in addition to natural rights, you're going to pull an additional detail out, and that's what you're going to find those quotes about. So that we have a couple different connections you can work. That helps you have a better argument when you get further on in the process. But for right now, you're just kind of getting the Enlightenment ideas. All of the documents that you can see if you scroll down. And I would encourage you to maybe use the snipping tool. That way you're kind of able to highlight and annotate as you go along. So with this assignment, I'm kind of using the snipping tool here. And I know my screen's kind of getting cut off here a little bit. That's okay towards the bottom. But what you should be checking out is really use the text features of these different documents. These are the same documents you're going to see in in checkpoint 1. But we know we're looking for stuff about natural rights, and you've got a heading about natural rights, and so I want to pull some information there. So I see towards the bottom of that paragraph, it's about, Locke believed these are rights that are given to people. People are born with them. So that's a thing I would pull out, and I would put that as one of my ideas back here in the first one. I would put it in my own words now, but you can quote it now if you would like to. The second and third box we're going to be quoting from, so I think it's good to have one already kind of put into your own words. That's going to make it a little easier when you get towards the bottom. So now I'm kind of back and we're looking out at the next checkpoint, or part of this checkpoint, which is going to be a quote from John Locke himself. And so that's going to be, again, you can scroll down, or in the future, you're going to see these in checkpoint 3. If you're wanting to use text to speech to be able to highlight, copy, and paste directly, you will get to that through this checkpoint 3. If you're willing to type out, a short sentence quote, not too much to ask, you can just stay in checkpoint 2 for now. But now, so I'm going to kind of check out this document, and I encourage you, if you're watching this video at home, to go ahead and pause this video, read through here, see if you can find something about natural rights. So go ahead and pause the video now. And I'm going to kind of click on and see, this is kind of what I picked out about natural rights. You'll notice that my quotes that I'm picked out are not even full sentences. You're welcome to use a full sentence, but you don't necessarily need to. I think sometimes when I go to integrate a quote into my own paragraph, it's easier if I just use a less than a sentence thing. But again, that's going to be kind of up to you. What you don't want to do is be quoting a whole paragraph here because that doesn't really show an understanding on your end. But I would copy and paste these into our box here. Again, both of them separated and in quotation marks. Then I do the same thing for the revolutionary documents and kind of, again, would encourage you as you scroll down to pause the video, but as I kind of already went ahead and did it, this will hopefully help. The quote I would pick out would be about people being endowed by their creator with unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So now I'm going to be able to copy and paste that over, and I would want to find an additional quote from this section, hopefully connected to another Enlightenment idea. Now I would be ready to go ahead and write a connection, explaining how we get from John Locke believed in natural rights like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happy, or life, liberty, and property. We see this based on this quote about people are born with these rights. And then we also see these same ideas show up in the American Declaration of Independence when it talks about the unalienable rights. That would be me explaining the connections, so how we get from Locke to the American Declaration of Independence. Once you finish that, again, want to have a couple different ideas supported in that final section. You're going to be being sure to hit the request feedback button. If you need to finish up stuff from the old project, do that. If you want to be working ahead on PFAs or on checkpoint 3 or an AFA, all those are appropriate things. Want to point out here, I did emphasize doing this in this order, so you might want to pause the video and grab the screenshot. And then we've got our projects from the old one being more important than PFAs. Remember, projects are a lot bigger part of your grade than PFAs. As always, email me if you got any questions, guys. Have a great day.